TikTok might actually be shutting down in the US, and for real this time, according to TikTok itself, as it's reporting to major outlets like CBS News and others. It plans to shut down operations in the United States of America if the US Supreme Court doesn't rule in its favor and strike down a law that would prohibit its operations here. What I want to focus on today is what you should be doing if the worst case scenario happens, whether TikTok gets shut down or whether your own personal account on TikTok could be shut down for any reason in the future. Here's what you should do as a creator that prioritizes vertical video and short form to ensure your success. Here's how you're going to diversify your platforms, keep your revenue, and protect yourself. For those of you who do sponsored short form content, you should really look beyond just using your views as a way to give value to brands and sponsorships. You should be exploring UGC, user-generated content relationships, where you post to the brand's social media and where you could even license them content that they can use in their advertising online and offline. So what does that look like? We've talked about this in other videos related to sponsorship. In fact, I gave you a complete sponsorship blueprint that includes what you should be doing with UGC, user-generated content, and also sponsored content, brand deal contracts, and so on and so forth. You can watch those videos. I will link to them in the description. We also have our brand deal starter kit for more resources with this, including sample contracts for sponsorship, email swipe files for outreach to brands, and media kit templates that you can customize for yourself when you're pitching your brands. But most importantly, you need to look at the relationships you already have with existing brands, and you need to be solidifying 6 to 12 month contracts. This is very important for you guys who rely on platforms for your living, especially if you rely on TikTok for your living. You need 6 to 12 month contracts for user-generated content on behalf of the brand and to be their spokesperson and a brand ambassador for them, where they can post that content to their own social media accounts or even use it in advertising for an additional fee and for some licensing. You need to explore what are called NIL deals, name, image, and likeness, where you become the face of a brand and they're able to use your name, image, and likeness for credibility and promotion. Now, with me, I've done brand deals like this myself, where I actually did a billboard campaign with my friends over at Kajabi. And so they put me on billboards in LA and in New York Times Square, and they were able to use my name, image, and likeness for promotion. And I was paid for that. I didn't have to buy a billboard. I didn't have to pay them. They paid me for that. And they've also paid me for user-generated content on Instagram before. I've also done a similar partnership for user-generated content on behalf of YouTube themselves. So when I tell you that you need to be exploring user-generated content and doing long-term deals with brands, the reason is because that could replace the income that you would look for from a 9-to-5 job, or even supplement and replace platform revenue like ad revenue or revenue from a creator fund that you might be living off of. And that 6 to 12 months buys you security and will keep you afloat in the long term, while you might be needing to build up your followers in another account or a new platform should the worst happen. This is why I don't like to encourage creators to see their value in just their views, or to do view-based pricing for sponsorships instead of value-based pricing. And what value-based pricing is it's not just whatever you feel like charging, it's about having rates for deliverables and for things that you're going to make for the brand, and thinking more like an agency. Because remember, when a sponsor and a brand is paying you, they're not paying an ad agency. And ad agencies do not price based on the views they think they're going to generate for a company. Advertising agencies price based on services rendered and assets delivered. So that takes care of some of your money anxiety if you're trying to be a full-time content creator, or if you live off of this type of content. With short form, you have that ability to make short form content for other platforms for the brands. They can and you should just license it to them for a fee to use it on multiple social media platforms, not just one. This means that there's a justification for paying you more. You could also obviously increase the rates with exclusivity. We talk about this more in the brand deals videos and in the brand deal starter kit. Now, when it comes to shifting your audience to a new platform, one of the best ways to approach this is by going live and multi-streaming across platforms, but advocating for support on these other platforms that you realize probably have more longevity, places like YouTube, for example. So I'd be multi-streaming on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and I'd probably be trying to move my audience to YouTube and Instagram and tell them to support me over there, and doing something where I encourage them to help run numbers up there. Part of the reason for that, while multi-streaming there, is so that one, they can see that there's just as good or a better viewer experience on the other platforms, but YouTube in particular are where you want to be, because YouTube and Instagram in particular are where you'd be able to get more brand deals. Instagram, especially if you're an entertainer and lifestyle influencer, you're going to do very well there with brand deals. It's where people were doing brand deals in short form before TikTok took off. So brand deals and sponsorship and UGC, big home for that on Instagram. Instagram even has a marketplace for brand deals now inside the app itself directly. So that's an opportunity that a lot of people are not talking about whatsoever. So you have that opportunity. And I know that a lot of you, the way you're making your money is TikTok Shop. I wouldn't say that there is a comparable competitor directly to TikTok Shop. However, YouTube Shopping has its affiliate program for tagged products, and there are commissions that I've seen up to 15%, which can be better than the Amazon influencer program. And Instagram does have an e-commerce style platform offering as well on their platform. So while I won't sit here and pretend for 1 minute that it's as good as TikTok Shop, I do think that there's an opportunity here for you guys to make money in a similar fashion between the two platforms. Just may not be exactly what you're used to. Also, keep in mind that if brands and companies are going to have to do this as well, if TikTok is going down for you as a creator, it's also going down for these businesses. They're not going to just fold up shop themselves. They're going to move to other platforms, and their budgets are going to move with them. The other platforms that their budgets are going to move to are Instagram and YouTube. So I would advise you strongly to position and also start to cultivate audiences there as well. One thing you can definitely do to help you, aside from advocating for your audience to join you on those platforms via your live streams while you're talking to them and chatting to them, is you can also make sure that you are backing up all of your previous TikTok content and that you're booting it to YouTube and to Instagram. I would even consider Facebook to see if you can get monetized over there, because Meta is also going to lower the requirements here in 2025, according to them, and make it easier to get monetized on Meta's platforms. And that if you're monetized on one aspect of Meta, you'll be monetized on the others. We don't know what they're going to do for monetization on Threads, for example. So Threads is still a thing. So between all of those, I would actually specifically be focused on YouTube and Instagram, where we know brand deals are plentiful. And with YouTube, we know that there's the YouTube Partner Program and multiple ways to monetize. The revenue sharing on YouTube is also more generous overall than TikTok. And I would encourage you to not just post short form videos to TikTok, from TikTok to YouTube. I would encourage you to start taking advantage of YouTube's live streaming and the vertical live streaming in YouTube. That way you can also become part of the YouTube Partner Program more easily and get the 4,000 watch hours. If you are not familiar with YouTube and the 4,000 watch hours requirement and the 1,000 subscriber requirement, I recently made updated videos on each of these and strategies to help you get that first 1,000 subscribers and to get those first 4,000 watch hours. If you are a short form creator, you're definitely going to want to get the subscribers by uploading short form content. But instead of trying to get the shorts monetization with 10 million views in 90 days, which is insane, you're going to want to meet the watch time requirements. And the way you're going to meet the watch time requirements is going to be getting the 4,000 hours of watch time through vertical live streaming, which uses the same vertical feed as shorts. But unlike YouTube Shorts, they count watch hours for your monetization requirements. If you upload shorts, you have to meet the 10 million view in 90-day requirements. If you go for live streaming in vertical, It still will be the vertical video that you're used to. It'll still be in the same feed as the vertical feed for YouTube Shorts, but you'll be graded on your ability to accumulate watch time and watch hours instead. And so that works with the vertical live streams, and you get more reach with them. And it's something that if you brought your TikTok audience with you, that they're already used to. And if you're multi-streaming and you're trying to funnel people over, this also would help you. So that's why I would advise that. And to accomplish this, you're going to probably, to get monetized as quickly as possible, I talk about this in the video, but you want to try to aim for getting like 48 hours a day of watch time, something like that. 24 to 48 hours a day of watch time to get monetized as quickly as possible. If you're streaming for 1 to 2 hours, maybe some of you stream longer than that, think about it. If you just do a daily marathon, or you do some kind of version of a subathon, let's say, you do something like that, but you do it on YouTube and you do it in vertical live videos, that's gonna really help you rack up those watch hours. And if you're already posting shorts, you have a high probability of getting the subscriber count, especially if you're getting support from people moving over for platforms to support you. So I think that you can get monetized in a reasonable amount of time, start earning from the YouTube Partner Program, which will get you donations from fan funding. We call those super chats, super thanks, super stickers, so you get donations. Unlike with TikTok and other platforms, it's a 70-30 split, and you get 70% of that. And then you get ad revenue on long form. You also get, ad revenue from a shorts pool. You can argue that right now it's not as good as TikTok on the shorts, but with an influx of new viewership and new advertisers, it could get as good as that very quickly. So something to think about. So basically my advice to you is secure the bag. Go to your sponsors, talk to them about what's going on, lock in for some UGC content, because they're going to need to do an advertising blitz if they're losing their presence on TikTok as well. So work together for your mutual benefit, secure long-term partnerships. Diversify your income streams and your content by posting to Instagram and YouTube specifically, and porting all of your old TikToks to these platforms and posting a couple of them a day and playing catch up. Even if the TikTok ban doesn't happen, this is good advice and could increase your earning potential either way. There's not a downside to you getting more brand deals and doing UGC and not having a performance burden for it needing to do well on views, because it lives on the brand's platform and you charge them for making the content. So that benefits you. There's not a downside to doing it. There's not a downside to taking all of your TikToks and posting to YouTube and trying to get monetized as quickly as possible. And if you're gonna live stream, you can live stream to Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. What's hurting you with that? What's the downside? What's gonna go wrong there? There's nothing for you to fear with that. And then if you are doing this, you're just expanding your opportunities, your reach, your digital footprint, and it's not as if this is a heavy lift to do what I'm saying and to move forward with this. You should act as if the TikTok ban is a guarantee, because it just will make you a better creator business to act as if it's gonna happen. Even if it doesn't, all the anxiety aside, you'll just be secured, and then you're not holding your breath every 2 to 4 years that there's an election. Wouldn't you just rather know that you've diversified and all these eggs aren't in the one basket, and that you have multiple ways to make money as a creator? What's the downside here to doing what I'm asking you to do and what I'm advising you to do as far as diversifying? A little bit of extra work, a little bit of extra lift, but if you just go ahead and you commit to it, you're not having a panic attack every 2 to 4 years about what the government's going to do and how it's going to affect your livelihood. So a little bit of tough love there. That is my advice for short form content creators. Keep in mind, you could take this even further and you could be posting your short form to Snapchat and to X.com as well. Both of those platforms are paying creators. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you they're paying as good as TikTok. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you they're paying as good as YouTube, but between having Instagram Reels will pay you, Facebook Reels will pay you, Snapchat will pay you, YouTube Shorts will pay you, and X.com will pay you. That's 5 new potential income streams for the same video that you recorded and edited already. And for a lot of you, for a back catalog of videos you already did that you could be being paid for. So that would be my advice, is secure the bag, diversify your platforms, diversify your income streams, take your creator business seriously, and don't cling to the platform identity of TikTok or YouTuber or streamer or whatever. You're a content creator, you're a creator with a business, and you use these platforms as much for your benefit. Stop letting the platforms absorb all the value by you being loyal to them as if they were loyal to you. It's not this perfect reciprocal relationship. These platforms ain't loyal. So don't act like they are. You focus on your brand, you focus on your business, and you let the platforms fend for themselves, because that's how they're gonna do you when it really comes down to it. So that's where my advice comes from. My advice comes from you thinking about what's best for you, you think about what's best for your audience, you let the platforms fend for themselves, and you will go to whichever platform is willing to pay you. That's how it should be. At least that's one man's opinion. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I will catch you in another video. Hopefully it'll be much more lighthearted. Stay awesome. I'll catch you next time. Take care.